live producer. Connect streaming software. It's connected. All right, here we go. Why aren't we live yet? Okay. Are we live? I think we're live. How's it going, everyone? I don't know that we're live yet. Hold on one second, Jesse. Yeah, we're done there. Okay. No, don't need that. We're done. What just happened here? Set settings. That's done. Done. That's done. How's everybody doing today? I'm not sure if I'm live yet, so bear with me a little bit. Not sure why Facebook makes it so tricky to figure things out sometimes. Sometimes that's how it works. Okay, let's go live then. We're live. What the heck? Or are we? No, not yet. Those are the ones from yesterday. Live producer, we're good here. We're done. Okay. Set up live video. Let's go. What? Let's go live. Let's go. Come on. What's missing here? Go live now. All right, everybody, my apologies. It's taking a little bit to figure things out here. I'm sure I've got some people watching. What's happening, Debbie? Debbie. All right, Debbie, but I'm trying to figure out on Facebook. I'm doing it both to YouTube and Facebook, so bear with me a little bit. Let me see. I'm using my stream key. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, we got it. I think we got it. Wow. Took forever. Took a little bit to get going. All right, everyone. Technical difficulties, as is often the case here on Facebook. All right, here we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Jesse, and I teach you how to draw and how to paint here on Painting with Jesse. I want to thank every one of you that's going to be joining today. I meant to jump on a little earlier, but I was having some technical difficulties with my setup. Nothing new here. It happens pretty often, but it's all good. We end up figuring it out, and, everything turns out just fine. Usually, things turn out fine. Anyway, we're going to give it a little time to let everybody jump on and find the feed. Today's the third and last day to our 3 days of Halloween painting challenge. If you missed day 1 or 2, both of those, the links to those videos are in the description of this video. So if you guys jump on and realize, oh, I haven't done day 1 or day 2, or maybe you just haven't had a chance to, you can simply look at the description of the video and you're going to find both of those days linked at the top. You want to start with day 1, then you move over to day 2. We paint for about an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes each of those days, but it gets you prepped and ready to where we are now. If somebody could give me a sound check, that would be fantastic. I don't see any comments just yet, but a sound check would be amazing. Let me check status over on my end, make sure that, there we go. My audio is being picked up. But okay, we're going to get moving here in just a moment. Out of that, there we go. What's happening, Erica? Hi, Robin. Thank you so much. Sounds like my audio is working, which is good because we need that, right? So anyhow, we're going to be moving here pretty quickly in just a moment. I've got my Starbucks here, a little coffee to get my day started. But if you joined in yesterday, we went through, and of course we did our pumpkins. We put in the mansion, we put in the tree, we put in the tombstone and the little tombstones on the hill. Okay. As I mentioned before, every time you walk away from a painting, you want to do an assessment. You take a look at what you've got before you get going. Does everything look right? Does everything look the way you want it? And when I look at my piece, I notice right away that I've got to make some slight minor adjustments, corrections to my haunted house, just to straighten out some of my edges. Just a preference thing. I could leave the haunted house the way it is, but I'm going to I'm going to make some little adjustments here and there just to tighten things up around the haunted house. Okay. First thing I do want to do, though, is I want to erase all of my chalk lines. All the chalk lines that I used to sketch things out, I want to remove those because when I look at the piece, they're interfering a little bit with what I see, right? They're kind of in the way, and some of the things get lost behind the lines, and I'm not sure some of the edges aren't quite clear. So as I mentioned yesterday, paper towel with a little bit of water. Now I have basic chalk. I use basic chalk to sketch things out. You'll catch that on yesterday's session. And then once I sketched everything out, chalk is really easy to erase. I also used a chalk pastel pencil, and I like using those because they're easy to erase. For example, if I come over here and I do this, my chalk lines are gone. Okay, I'm just going through there and removing all of the chalk lines, getting those out of there. Again, paper towel with just a little bit of water on it does the trick. Notice all of my chalk lines are disappearing. For example, there's a chalk line right above the tombstone, right in here. That's gone. Now I keep turning my paper towel. Every time I use a part of it, I turn it. I can grab a little bit more water. Let's remove those chalk lines from around the tombstones. Okay, I'm going to come up here to the house, and all gone. Okay, that's the beauty of using chalk to outline, to sketch out whatever it is you're going to be painting on your canvases. Really easy to erase. You can also use chalk if you're painting on mixed media pads. You can use chalk as well. Now that's a little trickier to erase. It's paper, right? What I tend to tell people when they're going to be painting on mixed media pads, you can primer those with gesso. You put a coat of gesso on your mixed media pad. It makes them a little bit stiffer, but it also makes them less able to absorb water, right? So once you've coated them in gesso and it's dried, you can treat them real similar to a canvas. Okay, so anyhow, all right, guys, let's take a look over at the comment section. Hi, Gloria, what's happening? It says, I'll take a look at it, Gloria. Thank you for letting me know. I'll take a look. Not 21. I'll take a look. It might be, yeah, I'll look at it. Thank you, though, for letting me know. I'll check it out. You got it, Katie. My pleasure. And once again, folks, as you guys join in, please say hello. Let me know where you guys are joining from. And also let me know if it's your first time or if this challenge is the first time that you're joining me. But all right, folks, we're going to get right into it. We're going to be doing a little bit of, we're going to be doing some painting, some adjusting. For example, the pumpkins need more coats of paint. Okay. Also, the haunted house, I'm going to make some adjustments to it, like I mentioned at the beginning. And we're going to do some of the highlights around the little tombstones on the hill, these little highlights that you see around there. And then we're also going to make some changes, some slight changes to the tombstone in the front. And then at the very last part of all this, we're going to be adding the neon colors to our painting to make it pop, to make it glow under black light. Now, there's a difference between these neon or fluorescent paints that glow under black light and these glow paints. Okay, I saw somebody was asking questions around glow paint. Glow paint glows in the dark. Okay, these glow in the dark, and you charge them up. When you apply this to a painting, you charge it up by putting it near a light, and then when you turn the lights off, it glows in the dark. Okay, these neon or fluorescent paints are different. These glow under black light. Now, glow in the dark paint will also glow a little bit under black light. Not the same as these fluorescent or neon paints that glow really, really brightly under. It's actually called a black. It's a black light, but it's actually a UV light, or a it looks purple. I have one over here as an example. Actually, I don't know if you guys would be able to tell, but this is a black light, and I'm going to see if maybe you guys can pick up that it's purple, but probably not easy to tell. This is a black LED light. When you shine it on to this fluorescent paint, it really glows and gets really bright and pretty, especially with the lights off. Okay, but anyway, so there is a difference. I want to make sure you guys understand that. I don't want there to be any confusion. What you're looking for, what I use primarily, is the fluorescent or neon paints. Okay, I did use a little bit of white glow in the dark on the moon because they don't make white fluorescent or neon paint that I know of. And that does glow a little bit under black light, but not like the neon or fluorescent lights do, or paints do. Okay, anyway, enough of that. Let's get into painting. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make those little adjustments to my mansion, the haunted mansion there on the hill. I'm going to be using some Mars black for that. So actually, I think I've already got some on the plate over here. I'm going to grab a little bit of that. I'm going to start with my 1/2-inch flat brush. I'm just going to scoop this up. I've got this dirty plate that I've try to use as much as I can until I use my plates till they're completely saturated. So I've got some paint right there. I'm just going to grab my brush. I dip it into my water cup. Okay, I'll do that a couple times. Bring some of that water over to my plate. Then I'm going to mix this paint with the water. Now, this paint that I'm using is from Liquitex. I'm sure you guys have already heard me mention it if you joined me over the last couple of days. And it's a pretty flowy paint, but this paint has been sitting on my plate for a few minutes, so it's dried out a little bit. So it's especially useful for me to add some water to it. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm just going to come in here and make some adjustments to my windows. I'm just straightening them out. Now we're going to be painting for about an hour and a half today, maybe a little bit longer. We got a lot of little details to add, and time does fly when we're having fun. So before you know it, we're going to be past the 1 hour mark, and then the hour and a half mark. And like I said, probably, yeah, I think I mentioned it yesterday, we might be doing 2 hours today. We'll see. The live video can be paused, backed up. You guys can come back and watch it later. The recorded session will be available through tomorrow evening. All 3 sessions have been recorded, and you can watch them later. I more than likely will extend the availability of the videos in the open group here under Painting with Jesse for about maybe till Wednesday. We'll see, but at least till tomorrow evening. And then I'm going to take those and remove them from the library. Okay? But anyway, just making some quick adjustments. Like I said, just straightening some things out. I'm going to switch over to one of my small filberts really quickly so I can get into this little corner right in here. This little area over to the side. I'll take a look at your questions here in a moment, your comments. Again, make sure you guys say hello. Let me know where you're joining in from. Don't be shy. If you're new to the page, you can ask questions. I'll be more than happy to help, especially if you're a newer painter. For some of you, maybe your very first time. I don't know. So any question that you come up with, please put it down in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer you. Okay? All right. But thank you, Gloria. I'll check it out. I'll see where you're saying it's not for 2021, huh? Okay. I'll look at that. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. All right. So there we go, folks. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move down here to my pumpkins and start adding. I'm going to add, since I've got black on my plate, I'm going to mix a slightly darker gray, and I'm going to come in here and add the inside, that dark area on the tombstone. Now, if I'm going a little bit quickly, maybe it's hard for you to keep up. Don't stress about it. You know that, as I mentioned already, you can back the video up. You can pause it. It's more fun when you're live because, you're just kind of hanging out with all of us. We're all painting together. But you can pause it, back it up. If you miss anything that I said, So I'm just making some dark gray in here, mixing a little bit of white and some black. What I want is a darker gray than what's in here, a little bit darker. This is my base color that we put together yesterday. Okay, so just grabbing some of my black, mixing it with some of my white. I want to make enough so I have, an entire coat's worth. Let's see what that looks like. A little bit darker. Let me grab a little bit more black. Just need to make it a little bit darker, lower the value a little bit more. In painting, when we refer to value, that's how light or how dark a color is. So if you hear me say I'm lowering the value of a paint color, that means I'm making it darker. If I'm raising the value, I'm making it brighter, lighter. All right, that should do it. I'm going to take I'm using my number 5 filbert here. I'm going to come across right at the top, right close to the top here. I'm making that border that you see. And I'm just going to follow the same angle as the top. It's still not dark enough, so let me grab some more black. Actually, it's probably as dark as I'm going to make it, or as dark as I need it. I'm going to lighten my edge here in a little bit. So, okay, dip my brush in my water a little bit, bring some of that water over, and here we go. If this is a little bit hard to see, don't worry. I'll give you guys a close-up in just a moment. Again, all I'm creating is that dark edge for the inside of the dark part of the tombstone. And I use a small brush so I can have better control. Now I'm just going to run this brush up and down. Here I can switch to a bigger brush if I want. But on those edges where it's a little bit tighter, I'm grabbing a smaller brush. And you guys are all done. Don't forget to share your paintings with me. You can send them to me by messenger here on Painting with Jesse. And then what I'll do is I'll take however many I've got tomorrow or Monday and share them all in a big post so that everyone can see what you guys all created. All right. Okay. Now, we're going to leave this alone for a little bit. Once this is all dry, we're going to come in with light. See this light gray that's in here? We're going to get a border like that all the way around the outside. Okay? So take about 30 seconds on that, and we're moving on. How's it going, Adrienne? She says, I love the horse painting in the background. Is that painting an option in the future? I'm thinking you're referring to the one over here. Let me see here. Hang on one second. Let me take a look. So the horse painting back there, that's actually a session that we did last year. Actually, not last year. It was sometime in early spring, I think. We did that one in early spring in the Painting with Jesse group. Okay. So that we'll be doing some more horses in the future. That video is actually currently still available. If you go over to the Painting with Jesse page at the top, there's a tab that says videos, I think it is, or live, and you can just scroll down. You'll see it down there somewhere. I haven't removed that one yet. It is going. I've slowly transferred everything over. For those of you that don't know, I have an art membership group within Facebook, and I've transferred most of the library that we've done over the past year here under Painting with Jesse into that membership. That's a private group, but that horse video is still available. If you go check that out, you can go. You can do that. You can still join in with that one. It's the recorded session, of course. All right, so we did the tombstone, darkened that up. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and add a little color, a little more detail to those pumpkins. So we layer everything. We work in layers. We move around from one layer to the next. So we added a layer right over that tombstone. Now we go over and add a layer to the pumpkins. I'm going to take some cad orange, some cadmium orange. I'm just going to put some right over here on this plate. Don't need a whole bunch. Okay, I'm also going to take a little bit of cad yellow. Kind of an orangish color. It's kind of cross between orange and yellow, but I need some of that. And I'm also going to grab a little bit of burnt sienna. Okay. So I'm going to make a mixture of those three. I'm going to take my number 10 filbert. Again, the little filbert has that little rounded edge at the top. Take a little bit of water and dip my brush in my water cup. Let me get some clean water. Bring it over. I'm going to grab some of this yellow. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me change the view on my screen. Give you guys a better, there we go. Much better view of what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll forget to do that. Ah, you got it, Janet. My pleasure. You did that one, huh? Are you talking about this one? You painted this one last year? So cool. Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. Might do another Nightmare Before Christmas, before Halloween. We'll see if there's time. So I'm taking a little bit of the cad orange and the cad yellow, mixing the two together. Now I want just a bit of a darker orange. So I just added some of that burnt sienna, and we'll see what this looks like once I apply it to the canvas. But my pumpkins are a little bit on the darker shade of orange. So let's see what this looks like. Again, I'm taking my number 10 filbert. What I do when I apply paint to rounded edges, I typically will follow the curvature of the object with my brush strokes. I add a little bit of depth, dimension by doing it that way. Okay. If any of you guys are jumping on and you missed the other sessions, take a look at the description of the video. This is our third session, right? Third of 3 sessions, and the other 2 are still available. They're going to be available for a little bit. So the links for those are in the description to this video. If you guys are interested, go check those out. Now, Janet, on that one, did you, on that Nightmare Before Christmas, did you draw it freehand, or did you use the stencils? Because I taught people how to draw it during the session. That was a long one. We painted for like 4 hours, I think it was on that one. Close to 4 hours. It was a marathon. But because of COVID, lots of people were stuck at home looking for things to do, and had a big group for that one. I think I ended up, at one point during that session, we had something like 700 people painting at one time. And then there were a couple thousand or something like that came in and painted with that one, the recorded version of that. But anyway, glad to hear that you jumped on that one. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so again, I'm using my brush strokes in a curved manner to create around the curved surface of the jack-o'-lanterns here. Now I'm going to switch brushes for a moment. I'm going to go back over to, let's see, where's my little number 2? My little number 2 flat brush, little tiny guy. I'm going to use this to come in and tighten up the edges around the teeth. Clean those up a bit. If I get quiet, it's because I'm concentrating. I think on that one, that Nightmare Before Christmas, I played some music in the background, some Halloween music. With these, I'm using a different platform now to stream these sessions, and playing music is a lot trickier. Back then I could just turn on music in the background and the mic would pick it up and stream it. With this, not so easy. Not quite so simple. All right. Okay. Now, I will likely be doing one more layer on that before I start doing some of those outlines, some of the outlining, and then also there's that stem up on top. But we are moving on here for a moment. We're going to go over to the tombstones, and we're going to add some of those highlights that you see around, right? The light reflecting from the moonlight. Actually, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to add the shadows first. We're going to put in those. You know what? It might be better if we do the highlights. No, we'll do the shadows. We'll do the shadows. Hi, Tina. Awesome. Yeah, you did great, Tina. Your painting came out amazingly. I love it. So Tina, she put a comment down at the bottom there. She's part of the my membership group, and so she's got a little bit of experience now painting. Uh, and she went ahead, she jumped ahead and completed the whole piece yesterday. It came out amazingly beautiful. And I want to stress, folks, everybody creates a little bit differently. If you want to change the colors up on this, like I've already seen some people doing, absolutely. Feel free to do that. Okay, you don't have to follow along and create the exact same thing that I'm making. Feel free to make changes. Maybe yours has a witch flying across the top there in the sky, or some bats, or there's a cat in there somewhere. Have fun with it. Okay? All right. Here we go. Next step coming up. All right. So we're going to go ahead and add the little shadows. I just want to point out on these shadows, you got your moonlight. Okay, the moonlight reflects off of the moon like this. You know, it's got a direction to it. So depending on where that tombstone, if you're trying to be realistic, right? If you want to be realistic about it, it doesn't really matter too much. But if, let's say, for example, this beam of light is going across like this, your shadow would come on this side. As I can do this with my brush, the shadow on this one would be in this direction, along the direction of the light. Same here. Same here. Okay, you can kind of use a brush or a pencil to kind of give you an idea as to the direction of the shadow. All right, so let's go ahead and create our shadow color. It's basically going to be a black and a dark blue, or a dark purple even. It just depends on what you used for your hill color. So I'm going to grab a little bit of my purple here. I'm going to bring it over. Actually, I've already got some right here, so it's not purple. It's actually, in this case, I'm using phthalo blue. So I'm just mixing that together there. I'm going to grab some black. What you want is a color that's darker than this. It could be a little darker than this as well, or a little bit lighter, but don't make it the same color as this. Whatever you've got here, make it so that it's a color that's a little bit different. Whether it's a touch lighter or a touch darker, all good. You want it to stand out and look different from the color that you used on the tombstone. So let me go ahead. So there's my color. Let me apply it, see what happens here. So again, which way is my light coming? Hits it here. So my tombstone has a little shadow that goes like this. Okay. I can use my finger to kind of blot it out and remove some of the paint so that it looks kind of almost like it looks like a shadow. It makes it look a little more like a shadow. Okay, over here, my light will bring this shadow over this way. The angle changes a little bit. Okay, over here. They don't have to be perfect. Just hints of a shadow is perfectly fine. Let's see here. I'm just going to keep moving here. I'm going to leave this cross. It's a little skinny, so I'm going to grab a skinnier brush here in a moment. This one here as well. I'm going to move over to this one. Okay, shadow will come down. It comes this way. Have fun with it. Enjoy the process. Actually, this shadow needs to come down a little bit. A slight different angle. Remember I said you can erase, you can remove paint. Take a paper towel, a little bit of water. I'm just going to make a correction to that shadow. Because everything's still wet right there, I can easily remove it. No problem. I want the area dry before I go and add more paint to it. So I go ahead and remove the water that's on there. And here we go. Okay. you have a question about anything, please make sure you put it down below. Put it in those comments. You notice I put down a shadow, I don't like it, and I make a correction. No problem. Painting, drawing. You go along, you put something down, it doesn't look quite right, you make a correction. Not all your lines, not all your brush strokes, not all your colors, etc. have to be perfect that first time. Can't forget these little guys over here on the side. Now here the angle of my shadow starts to change a bit because the light, the tombstones are sitting on the other side of the moon now. Not trying to get super technical about it, but it does add a little bit of a cool effect to the painting. So here, shadow goes this way. So this one is, there we go. Okay. Now let me grab my number 2 little brush here. I'm going to go ahead and make the shadows for those little ones over here. Oh, I still need that one too. So here we go like this. Okay, this one's the tricky one. Just basically have to redraw the image above it as like a reflection in the ground. All right, let's see. Let me take a little step back. What's happening? What's happening, Stephanie? Yeah, Rosemary's was awesome, Tina. She did great. I love those red colors that she used. Super intense. The shadowing in her tree was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome stuff. I love seeing everybody's creativity. So let me give you guys a little close-up of what I've got. Okay? Got all my shadows in there. Once we add the highlights around the tombstones, around the edges, that's when things are going to start to pop a little bit more. Okay? Is my tombstone dry? It sure is. So my tombstone is dry. I can go ahead and add that highlight around the edge in gray. Okay? After that step, I'm going to take about a minute. Again, if I'm going a little too quickly, don't stress. Take your time with this. Pause the video. Back it up. You can do that with these live sessions now on Facebook. Okay, I'm grabbing a little bit of white. I'm going to grab some of this black to create a nice light gray. I just want a color that's lighter than what's on here now. What's on the front. It could be this color right there. Okay, so let's see. That looks about right. Take my brush, dip it in my water a little bit, bring that water over, and here we go. I'm using my number 5 filbert here. Little brush that gives me good control. You could use a little flat brush, or you can use a round brush for this, but All depends on what works for you. All right, here we go. Okay. Okay. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to take my little number 2, flat, and grab some of this black, lighten it up just a tiny bit, make a dark gray. Darker than everything else that's on the tombstone now. All right, where are we? Right here. It's almost black. Dip my brush in just a little bit of water, don't need a lot. Do that a couple times, bring some of that water over. And here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a dark edge. It needs to be darker. Not dark enough. A little more black. This is a minor detail, but it'll add a little pop. Sorry if I'm blocking the screen here. Let me see. No, I'm not blocking it. Whoops. This is a little subtle detail, but adds a little extra pop. Just adding a little dark outline around the inside of that tombstone. Got a little bit of that gray color over here by accident, the dark black that I was using, so just going to clean that up really quickly. That's going to get covered up with some of the highlight color over here, but it doesn't have to be perfect. You can use your finger to blend a little bit. As you guys have seen me doing a couple of times. All right. There's my tombstone. Thank you, Val. Appreciate it. What's happening, Leah? Sounds good. Which are you looking for, the neon paint? Is that what you're talking about? Also, let me know what you find at that 5 Below. I'm curious if their paint is good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Val. Appreciate it. All right. So there's our tombstone. Okay. Towards the end is when we're going to be adding the RIP and, of course, the highlights and stuff, the neon paint around that. Take about a minute, get caught up. Now, again, we are we're going to be painting for about an hour and a half, maybe close to 2 hours. I don't think we're going to get to the 2 hour mark. We're actually moving pretty quickly here, so that's good. But if I am moving too quickly, this is all being recorded. You can come back and paint with the recorded session, or you can simply back the video up and repeat anything that I've gone over. Okay, the video you can back the video up. Thank you, Val. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Let's add. We're gonna start adding some of the glow color now. We're gonna come up here to the our house, our haunted house, the haunted mansion. So what you could do, and this is an option, you could come up in here with basic yellow acrylic paint, add some into the windows first, let that dry, and then add your neon over it. Okay. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and go straight into my neon. It's going to take a few coats for it to really make an impact, for you to be able to see it in those windows, but it's okay. I pour some right on my plate there, even right on the plate. When I shine my neon light, my black light on it, it really, really glows. Check this out. These other paints don't do anything under the black light, but when I do that, that really glows. Okay. I don't know if you can see it in the video, probably, maybe not so well, but it really brightens up. It lights up when I do it here in my studio. But all right, so what brush am I going to use? I'm going to use my 1/2 inch flat brush. Just cleaning it up. Got lots of paint in it. I'll start with this flat brush, and if I need to do the rest or switch to a smaller brush during the process, I will. Let's clean up that brush a little bit. All right, here we go. Remember what I said yesterday? You clean up your brush in your rinse cup. You use a paper towel to remove the excess paint. All right, so here we go. Scooping up some of my neon yellow right in here. And again, it's going to look a little transparent. These first steps, or with these first couple of layers, it's okay. It will go away. There we go. All right. Okay. First coat. I'm going to touch around the edges of my tombstone, and they're dry. They're dry enough. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of this to this outer edge. All right, it's picking up some of the light from the jack-o'-lanterns. So okay. While I'm at it, I can come down here and using the edge of my brush, I'm just going to come in and start adding some of this glow down here. Those of you that joined me yesterday, I made some weeds, some grasses, kind of like dead grasses coming up around the edges of the pumpkins. I'm just coming up with my brush and just outlining them a little bit. Now I'll come back and layer some more over this. This isn't all done, right? I'll let this dry a little, and then I'll come back and add some more of this highlight color later. But these grasses up here, same thing. Got some grasses right in here. You could, Val, you could use glow in the dark paint. So kind of like this, right? But in yellow, and I have some of this yellow in my studio somewhere. I think I took it home. But anyway, so I've got some glow in the dark orange. I'm not using this on my painting today, but I wanted to show the difference between this and this. You could use this in your window and it will glow in the dark as opposed to the fluorescent paint that does not glow in the dark. This also has a glow under neon. Okay, it's just not as strong, I've noticed, as the stuff that actually glows under black light. Okay. So anyway, there's a difference there, but it will work. It'll still work. It'll be all right if you use that on your windows. So glow paint is not the same as neon, Gloria. So you got two different types of paint. So here's another glow in the dark paint. Here's my neon paint. Difference: this glows in the dark. This one glows under black light. These glow more intensely under black light. These will also glow under black light, just not as intensely. These won't glow in the dark, though. The neons do not glow in the dark. These glow paints do glow in the dark. Just look at now, I don't want to say that is the case for every single paint that's labeled glow, right? If there are some manufacturers that use glow to refer to glows under black light, I'm not aware of it. There may be some. I can't imagine if they wanted to, they could use that term and say glow. But if they say glow in the dark, you want to make sure you look at that. Glow in the dark is different from glow under black light. Okay? The neons and the fluorescents glow under black light. The glow in the dark, and then a little bit of glow under black light. I know it's a little confusing, but what I'm using are the neon fluorescents to glow under black light. And if I want there to be some glow in the dark element, then I would use the glow in the dark paint. So on the original here, I have a little bit of glow in the dark paint on the moon, but everything else has neon fluorescent paints in there. Okay. All right. So let's continue here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take, since we're on the fluorescent yellow, and we're not done with the pumpkins yet. We're going to add more detail around the eyes and the mouth, but I'm going to go ahead and start adding a little bit of my neon paint, my neon yellow, on the eyes and the mouth. So yeah, I know it's confusing. Somebody yesterday sent me a message. Sorry, they did not send me a message. It was a post they put around asking about they use glow paint. They saw somebody's painting that glowed really brightly, and they went and got some glow paint. Kind of like the one I showed you. This one right here. Okay. When they put their painting in the dark, they expected it to look like what a painting does that uses neon paint or fluorescent paint under black light. They got confused. What the other person had posted about was using neon paint or black light paint, as it's sometimes referred. And when this painter went and picked up some paint, they saw that it said glow, and you're like, that must be it. They used it all over their painting, and it didn't produce the result they expected. So just know that there's a difference. Neon fluorescent glows under black light or under UV light, and glow in the dark paint will also glow under UV light paint, but nowhere near with the same result, at least again from what I've seen. There may be some manufacturers out there that have created something a little different that I'm aware of. But always check out the instructions, the applications. But yeah, if all you have is glow in the dark paint, you could use that. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I've never tried it. I've never tried it, Tina, but you can give it a shot. That'd be kind of cool. Might be a cool little effect. What's happening? Yes, see. Good. Glad you're here. Okay, so I've got some glow-in-the-dark paint down here already. I got a little bit of my windows. By now, all this is dry. And look how it dried. It dried kind of darkish. It has kind of a deep green tint to it. So really quickly, before I start adding some outlining around my tombstones for the highlights, I'm going to go ahead and add one more coat. Let that dry, and we'll be doing at least 3 coats to those windows. As I mentioned earlier, you could go in with yellow acrylic paint, just basic acrylic paint, and add a coat first before you start applying your neon paint. That might save you some extra steps with the neon, but it'll still work regardless. So I'm just going to scoop up some more paint here, some more neon. Remember that got to work this stuff in layers. Just using my fingers there to clean up the edges a little bit. Got a little too much paint in there. All right. And I might as well do another layer down here. What the heck? Why not? I could also go in and do some on the outlines of the base of the tree. We'll do that later. So the glow-in-the-dark paint, Tina, what you want to do with it, take it. Maybe you already tried it. So you'll take a really bright light, put it right up against the paint for a little bit, turn off the lights, and then that's when it gets really glow. You have to charge it up first. You charge it up, then when you turn off the lights, you get a really nice glow. But I'm sure you guys can see already. I know it's a little different when you're viewing it on video. You don't pick it up as much. But there's a difference between this yellow here now. Watch the yellow on the windows, but look at the yellow on the tree. Doesn't have any brightness to it under this black light. If I go here, it gets really, really bright. Okay, now in the dark, it gets really intense. Okay, so just a really fun way to paint. Also, even in the light, even like this under regular light, there is a neon effect to it. You can see that there's neon paint in there, which is really cool. But all right, let's move on. We're coming up on an hour here since we started, so we want to get moving here. Let's make some highlights around those tombstones. I'm going to take a little bit of blue. I'm actually going to take some white, a little bit of I'm going to use my primary blue. Okay, and then I'm going to take some white. Whoops, all my white is dry, so give me a sec. Mix the two together to create the highlights. They're going to sit on top of those tombstones. Okay, a little white right here. Just going to bring it over. It takes. I'll do it right here. A little more purple. A little more blue. And I'm going to come right over the top. Again, depends on where the light's coming from, right? Where's the light? So if the light hits here, it's going to be on this corner up on top. When you put in these highlights, you're going to give your tombstones a little bit of a 3D effect. Let me switch to my smaller brush. All right, here we go. Let's continue here. This one. All right. Look where your moonlight's coming from. Oh, I didn't put a shadow on that one. Okay. This one. Right over here. Got it. Okay, Tina. Yep. So that's how that works. Okay. So there's a little bit of a close-up. Now, once this is dry, I can come in with my neon blue paint, and right over the top of those, I'm going to add a little bit of that, and that will make everything even brighter. Okay. So again, just kind of look where the light is coming from. Where's the light source? And it'll give you an idea as to where that reflection needs to be. Okay. So again, you don't have to get super technical about it, but up to you. All right. My little brush here. I'm going to grab a little bit of white. Maybe a little tiny touch of blue. Just a tiny, tiny touch of it. I want a really light blue. My creepy tree has a highlight. A few little highlights. Right here around what looks like the neck. Light's shining behind. From behind a little bit. Okay. Over here on this branch. I'm putting my knuckle right here on the canvas. Makes it easy for me to work around. Okay. Up here, a little bit. Those highlights give my tree a little bit of dimension, some depth. Okay. Also gives it a bit of a creepy touch, if you ask me. So what are you guys thinking so far? If you guys are enjoying the session, give it some likes. Give me some thumbs up. Let me know if you're having some fun here. I know I am. Halloween's my favorite time of year. It's always enjoyable to create Halloween paintings. A lot of fun, especially when you mix in a little bit of glow in the dark paint. Hi, Marissa. Yeah, no worries. Okay. I think a lot of people did. I think most everybody expected it was going to be 3 o'clock again. But all good. Happy you stopped by to say hello. Thank you so much. But yeah, you can watch the replay or you can simply back it up right now and, start from the beginning. Okay. Let's give. Thank you, Shelly. Awesome, Robin. Fantastic. Glad to hear. So we're going to get into the pumpkin ad. We're going to add a little outlining around the eyes. We're going to put in those dark lines, the segments, right? These little curved lines that give the pumpkin that look and feel of a pumpkin. Maybe not feel. look of a pumpkin. All right. So I'm going to do those with burnt sienna. I still have some over here on my plate. Let's see. What brush am I going to use? I'm going to use my little liner brush. I got a number 0 liner brush here on my plate. I'm going to scoop up some of this burnt sienna. I'm going to bring it over. Got some water in my brush. You want to use a little bit of water. 2 reasons. 1, that paint's been sitting on my plate for a little bit, so it's dried a bit. But 2, anytime you're going to make little skinny lines, it helps to add a little bit of water to it. It just makes it a lot easier to make those lines. And then the other thing is you can spin your brush. Actually, you know what? This isn't the best brush for this. Let me see here. Okay. I guess we'll go with it. I can't find my little tiny 0. Must have rolled away. My other good brush. So here at the top, I know we're going to have a stem that's going to sit up here. Okay? So maybe it helps if I just kind of put a little spot where that's going to be. So just a little round, kind of a rounded area. But from there, I'm going to start producing the little lines. That one goes back behind, like that one there, behind the pumpkin. We got one going over to the other side, and they curve a little bit. Okay, they curve just a little bit. We got one right here. My hand, I'm not painting with, sits on my table. Painting hand. Sits right over the top. It stabilizes my hand. Gives me a little platform. Now this one right here. Curves, comes around, drops down like that. Now what did I say yesterday? Once you commit to one of your lines, just go for it. If you work too slowly, your hand's more likely to shake, and your lines won't come out as smoothly. Okay, so just go for it. We got this one right here. It's going to go right above the eye. Kind of like that. And then I don't have to bring it through here. I could if I want, but I kind of like how that looks where I didn't bring that across the face. So I'm going to bring it down below. So just imagine that line curved down, comes like this, comes out on the other side of the mouth. Next one. There we go. Would go through here, across the eye, underneath that mouth. Other side. There we go. Maybe that one shows up down here. All right. I'm going to give my eyes an outline. If you don't have burnt sienna, you can use a little bit of brown, any brown. When I do my outline, I'm actually painting on the outside of the eyes, not the inside edge, but the outside edge. All right, we got our nose. Now don't forget to share your paintings with me, folks, when you're all done. Today, tomorrow, send them over to me on my messenger here on Painting with Jesse. What I'll do is I'm going to take all the ones that I've received by, let's say, Monday, or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Depends on how many I've received. Once I've received a whole bunch of them, I'm going to go ahead and share them in a big batch. Oops. I'm going to go ahead and do the lines first before I do my the outline of the eyes. I mean, it doesn't really matter. The order doesn't matter too much. So I've got a stem that's going to sit on top of there like that. Got a line that goes back. On the side, now that you guys have seen it once, I'm going to go speed it up a little bit. That line goes over like that. Got another line over here that goes like that. These lines are giving the pumpkin a dimension, okay? Right here. Now that one I'm going to stop right there, and then I'm going to give my pumpkin, it's like a scar. And then down here at the bottom. Okay, over here. That one doesn't have a scar. Comes out down here. And what the heck, I'll put a line through here. Okay. Now I go through an outline. Don't forget, folks, have fun with it. If you're stressing out a little bit, don't worry about it. Just have fun. Enjoy. Relax. We're not going for perfect. What's good is that you are creating. You're sitting down, having some time to yourself. Maybe you're painting in a group. You're just enjoying the process. Lots of therapeutic benefits around the creating process, whether it's painting, drawing, sculpting. Just a lot of fun. Can be a really relaxing time for most of us. I know it can be a little stressful too. I always tell people, don't worry about the outcome, especially when you first start. Just start painting. Get in there and start painting with experience, with knowledge, because as you're painting, as you go along, you're going to gain knowledge. That knowledge is going to help you make better paintings, better choices, because now you have the experience to fall back on. But if you're first starting, especially at the beginning, you want to just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Just because you don't produce something that you necessarily like, if you don't produce something that you like, it's okay. Go again. Just because you didn't do well the first time doesn't mean you're not going to be able to do well later on. Okay? Just like with everything else, there's a learning curve. Awesome, Yessie. There you go. Oh, I still have a couple of shadows. I missed this one and I missed that one. So while you guys are doing that to your pumpkins, I'm going to go back over and add those shadows. Now, the other thing I was mentioning yesterday is if you guys have tools that aren't adequate, and I don't mean expensive brushes or expensive paints, just buy quality. You can buy some quality stuff pretty cheaply. Good quality all-around set of paints can cost you under $25. The basic paint brushes. Paints don't have to be super expensive. Just look for quality. They do make a difference in your outcome, and in the process, you won't struggle as much. So that is important. If you're using bad quality stuff, you're going to struggle a little bit more and not necessarily get the results that you like. So if you're struggling at all, take a look at your paint. If you're struggling to get the paint to spread across your canvas, if your brushes, are losing bristles, and all that matters. So my suggestion is invest a little bit in some decent supplies, and will really, really go a long way to helping you with the results. You don't have to break the bank though. All right. All right. We're getting there. Take a little step back. Let's look at our handiwork. I'm going to go ahead and add in the stems. Okay, the stem is a mixture. I mixed a little bit of dark green and then some brown or burnt sienna, even a little bit of red. Red will darken green, or green will darken red. Okay, so burnt sienna has a little bit of reddish in there. So I got some green here. Take a little bit of burnt sienna. I just want to darken it up a bit. And use this for my stems, and I don't need a lot. I got one of my small round brushes here. And here we go. Now, I want to invite you guys, if you guys are having a good time, make sure you guys are following the Painting with Jesse page. I know most of you are. If you're new and hanging out for the first time, follow the page, because that's how you'll get all the notifications as to when I'm going live and all of my events that are open to the public. You'll know. Sometimes it's last minute. I'll jump on like the day of or the day before. I notice that I have a little time on my schedule, and I'll go, hey, tomorrow I'm going to jump on and draw and paint a little bit with the group. Now, if you guys are interested in really getting in and learning the nuances of drawing and painting, I teach an easy step-by-step, or I know that's relative term, easy step-by-step, in my art membership. Okay, the doors will be opening to that in November. I'm not sure as to the dates yet, but a week in November, probably the middle of November, I'm going to be opening the doors to the membership, and I would love to have some of you guys in there. If you're interested, sign up to the membership email list. It's in the description of the video. Sign up for that, and all you'll get is notifications, right? Messages around the details. And you can always opt out of it if you don't care to join. You don't have to. You can always opt out of those emails if you're no longer interested at some point. So, but I do invite you guys to join me if you're enjoying all this, if you're having fun. Jump onto that email list. All right, I've got a little fence over here, a little broken fence off in the distance above this edge of the hill. So I'm going to go ahead and add that now. Similar colors to my tombstones, maybe a little bit darker. You want to make sure you use a really skinny brush for that. Mostly black paint. Let's see. Don't forget to take a little step back. Look at your painting from a distance so you can make better assessments. Here's my mixture, nice and dark. I add a little bit of water to it. I also spin my brush because I want my point to be really, really skinny. It helps make skinny lines. So I'm going to start with a little post up here on top. A little post right here. I know this is going to be hard to see. A little post right there. Another post right over there. Really skinny lines. Let me show you up close. I know it's going to be hard to see. Okay. And maybe I got one over here. See if I can do this holding the canvas. I'm barely touching the point of the bristles on my brush. Okay. Barely touch it. Maybe that one's a little crooked. Okay. And then I'll come over here. Try to not block what I'm doing. Okay, let me put this back down. It's getting a little tricky for me to do. I'm gonna make crooked lines if I keep holding it that way. Just loading up my brush again. My hand goes up on my canvas here. Okay. Now I'm going to make the little cross beams, right? The posts that go across the top or horizontally across the fence. Hand is still on the canvas. The canvas is stabilizing my hand. Lots of water in my paint, but not enough to make it runny. I don't want runny paint. You can always test. You can always test it on a plate or paper, scratch paper, before you apply it to the canvas. Okay. Let's see. Some of these posts are missing. Some of them are falling down. Okay. There's my little fence. And I can go back and touch it up a little bit. Maybe make my lines a little more defined, a little bit darker. I would just go right over them again. Load up my brush again and go right over the top of them to make them stand out. Okay. All right. What time do we got? 1 hour and 16 minutes since we've been painting. Tina, I didn't know who that was. I didn't look it up, or I didn't know. I don't think I went back and looked at your response. But that was really cool. I liked everything about your painting. It's fantastic. Sounds good, Rose. You did amazingly on yours. I love it. I love those reds that you used in your tree, and it looked like a purplish red. It's pretty creepy looking. So again, I'm going to be sharing all your paintings when you guys share them with me for this group, for this session, or for this challenge. I'm going to be sharing your guys' paintings. So please make sure you guys, for those of you that haven't, send those over to me. Myra Maines. Ah, I see. I got it. Myra Maines. Cool. All right. When I read it last night, it was kind of late. I thought it might have had a special meaning to you, so I didn't want to. I wasn't even sure if I should ask, but I got it. Very cool. Myra Maines. All right. I'm a little slow sometimes, Tina. It's okay. You have to have patience. But all right, here's what we're going to do next. I'm going to take some of my chalk, little yellow chalk here. I'm going to, I'm sure you got it, Rose, and probably everybody else did too. It was just Jesse that did not. All right, I'm going to take some chalk. I'm going to use this to write the RIP on my tombstone before I paint it. Same reason for using this to sketch. Okay, R-I. It's easy to erase and make corrections if I need to. For example, probably has too much space between the letters, so now I can just wipe it off and go again. There we go. RIP. So you guys get the idea. You make your little adjustments with your chalk. Once you've got what you want, now you can trace right over it, paint right over that. you do it with pencil, regular lead pencil, it's a lot harder to erase. You can still erase, but it's a lot harder to do so. So I'm going to take some black here. You guys ever have those, I'm sure most of you do, or lots of us do, those dreams where you go to school or go to work or whatever, and you're in your underwear. Yeah, this morning I had a dream. It was really this morning because I woke up and I fell back to sleep. It was pretty early. I had a dream. I started today's session in my skivvies, and I panicked. So I started the session, and every time at the beginning I monitor. I go and take a look, make sure everything's okay. Well, I look up and I'm like, what happened to my clothes? And of course, in my dream, I am panicking to stop the session and delete the video as quickly as I can. When I was doing that in the dream, I woke up, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, glad it was just a dream. Anyway, yeah. All right, now I take a little bit of black paint. Let's go right over my chalk lines. And remember, once the paint dries, I can go back in there and erase the chalk. And if I need to, I can go back over the letters to make any corrections. I'm using a little skinny liner brush for this part. Plenty of those dreams in my life. Go to school in your underwear, find yourself in the hallway, all of a sudden you're like, what the heck happened to my pants, or whatever. Go to work, same thing, all of a sudden you're walking to your area, to your, whatever, and all of a sudden you find yourself not wearing clothes. But okay, so there's my RIP. I take a little step back. What else do I need? I need to make little highlights in fluorescent. Now it's all about touch-ups, okay? Corrections. We're going to be working with the neon colors now to add the finishing touches, and we are almost there. Okay, so a little bit of my neon blue right here. I am going to mix in a little bit of white to lighten it up a little bit. So I'm going to use one of my skinny brushes to apply this to the tombstones. Okay, do I have any fresh white? I do not. Let me grab some more. Yes, high anxiety. High anxiety. Yeah, but this morning it was crazy. It just felt so real. I was going, what is going on? Stop the video. Delete it. There's kids watching. So a little bit of paint. A little white paint, and then some of my fluorescent blue. I'm going to mix those in. Now this might be a little too bright, but it is moonlight, so it doesn't matter too much. I'm going to add a little water also to my mixture. Here we go. I'll start. You know what? I'm going to start up here. Bring the canvas towards me a bit. So this tombstone sits over in this little corner. I'm just going to have a little tiny touch of a highlight. I missed that one earlier. And this one right here. Those little tiny ones, you don't have to get too detailed with as far as your highlights. Just give it a little bit of a highlight here and there on the edge facing the moon, edge or edges, and you're good. Little subtle touches that make a big difference in a painting. So again, this has a little bit of neon paint in it. So even though I mixed it with some white, it's going to have a nice glow to it. Mixing with other non-glow paints will water down the glow factor a bit, but it's still going to have some. Okay, I'm going to add some to the tree also. Same areas that already have the highlights. Okay. All right. We are almost done here. Cleaning up my brush. Still got some yellow over on my plate. I'm going to take some of this yellow, apply some more to those windows. Even here, if I wanted to, I could take just a basic yellow, apply it over the windows, over this fluorescent paint that I've already applied. Let that dry and then come back and add more fluorescent paint over that. Depending on the neon paint that you use, like in this case, the paint that I'm using, it's probably going to require at least 2 more coats to get a really good glow on those windows because of the dark background. Okay, as opposed to here on the jack-o'-lantern eyes that has the yellow background to begin with, it's a lot easier to get that glow going. Different approaches, similar results. Just adding more glow here to the features of the jack-o'-lanterns. I'll be doing another one of these. Maybe it'll be a 2-day challenge with a Day of the Dead theme, a Dia de los Muertos theme, Sugar Skulls, Sugar Skull Moon, or a Sugar Skull couple, where you get to pick between a male or female skull. That's kind of what I have in mind right now. I'll maybe be doing a little fall theme also. Last year for Christmas, we did a red truck carrying a Christmas tree driving up a little country road with a barn house in the distance. Maybe we'll do something like that. Maybe not as complex, but anyhow, so keep your eyes open. If you guys are following the Painting with Jetsy page, like I said, you guys will see my posts around that. Okay, a little more glow down here. I'm going to add some glow to the roots on the tree here. I'm going to add some glow there. So maybe you decide you want to add more glow the closer to the pumpkins you are, like on the ground here below it, right? Right up to the pumpkins. Maybe it's a little brighter because it's closer, so it's more intense. And as you move away from the pumpkins, there's a little less glow. Up to you. All right, let's take some of this glow and add it to the roots. I'm going to try something a little different here. I'm going to take some of this glow and I'm just going to apply it. Instead of just outlining, I'm going to apply a little bit to the front side of the tree. All right, it's taking a little bit of the glow from the jack-o'-lanterns. Now I know I've got a couple little pumpkins over here on the side. We'll throw those in just a bit. Those will get done fairly quickly. We got a little time here. I'm going to take my finger and just kind of use it to blend this out a bit. All right. What's happening, Penny? Izzy says content not found with above links. I don't want to click on them, but those are it. Give me one sec. Yeah, I just found the first video. And then let's see the second video. I'm opening them in a different tab, so I'm not interfering with the session today. There's the second one. I just clicked on that. There's day 2. Now, where are these under my painting with Jesse or? Yeah. So I just clicked on both of them and they popped up. You might want to try clearing your browser, or if somebody else has that issue, let me know. Sounds awesome, Martha. Izzy, yeah, let me know. So Izzy, if you continue having problems with that, send me a message under Painting with Jesse here on Facebook, the Messenger, and I'll see what I can do about getting you the links. Okay? Should be no problem. I just clicked on them and it took me right to them. So maybe something with your browser, so you may want to check on that. All right, so let's see here. Before I start adding the little pumpkins, I want to leave those for last. I'm going to add some glow in green to my RAP and then a little border around the outer edge there, or the black edge. So some green neon. You do want to shake these. Sometimes if they're sitting for too long, you can get depending on the type of paint that it is, they can separate a little bit. Although that happens more with the glow ones. So shake them a little bit just in case. I've noticed it with the glow ones more frequently. But some glow paint or some neon paint. Actually, maybe I'm getting confused. Just shake them. Shake them anyway. All right, here we go. Right over the, let me remove the chalk paint or chalk outline there on my letters. Get that out of there. Be gone. All right. Now I can go around there and I'm going to go right over those letters. Let me know, guys, if anybody had any problems when you clicked on those links for the videos. Okay. There's my RIP in green. Now, when we're all done here, I'm going to turn my lights off. I can't turn them all off, so the effect isn't going to be super obvious. Unfortunately, if I turn off all the lights in here, it also cuts the power off to my camera. So can't do that, but I'll turn the lights off as much as I can, and then we'll check it out. See what it looks like. Just adding more glow in the dark to my windows. More to the pumpkins, because why not? Okay. Oh. Hey, Penny, on the second one, the beginning it stays blue for a little bit. You don't see any video on it for a little bit. You just see the background. And then about maybe 5 minutes in, you'll get the red is when the video actually starts. Not sure if that's what might have been the problem on your end. So here I got this glow in the dark. This is Craft Smart glow in the dark. And this one I definitely have to shake. I'm going to add this to my moon. Okay, so just pour out. It looks almost white. As I mentioned, this glow in the dark stuff also glows under black light. It's just not as intense. Okay, there's the green and yellow. It's really bright. And then this, you have to really layer it on to make it glow. So what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to grab some of it. Now this is pretty transparent stuff. I'm just going to grab this right over that moon. Now I'm going over the branches also. It does change the finish a little bit, so the black branches look almost like they got a layer of milk over the top of them. But I can fix that by going over that with black. Once all this glow dries, I can just go right over those branches in black, and that takes care of that. So again, this is really transparent. I could take this same color and add it anywhere, and that'll glow a little bit. I'm not going to do that, but I'm saying I could to make those areas glow under in the dark. All right, let me take a little step back. I'm going to have those quick pumpkins over here on the side. We are just about finishing up here, folks. I know a lot of you guys might already be done. You guys might be going, I'm done, Jesse. Way ahead of you, buddy. So I'm just going to take, what is this? The cad orange, cad yellow. Just making my pumpkin color. A little burnt sienna in here. It's nothing special about these guys over here. One sits right here, and I'm just going to they're in the background. They don't need a lot of detail. So you notice this one, these I didn't put any that white background first like I did with these. It's okay. Now these are going to take a little bit to dry, so let me bust out my blow dryer and speed up the process. All right. This is nice and dry. I can put another layer right over that. This way we don't have to wait there's other steps to do, we move around and add those steps, and that gives this time to dry. But when we don't have other steps, well, see, I need to have the blow dryer. Okay, now I'm just going to grab some burnt sienna, a bit of water, make some of the those little lines, the little segments. They need a little stem now, so I got some green here on my plate. Probably not enough. We'll see. Yep, not enough. So grab a bit more green. Again, folks, if anybody has a problem with those accessing the videos, send me a message, and I'll see what I can figure out. There we go. There's my little stems. And let's add a few little grasses around the base here. These are a little hard to see from a distance. They're nice and subtle, but I'll give you guys a close-up in a moment. So just adding a few little grasses. Okay. A little close-up right there. Okay. What else do we got? I'm going to take a little bit of my orange. Okay, my orange neon or fluorescent. I'm going to add a little of this to my pumpkins. Okay, right over the top. Now, this is going to brighten them up a little bit. I used yellow on those and some burnt sienna. I want these to stand out a little bit more, so add a bit of orange neon to all of this. If you guys are interested in, if you're using neon paint but you don't have a black light, you can buy those flashlights or even the lamps pretty cheaply. Smells like Party City carries them, I think. But you can also order them through Amazon. I saw some pretty cheap ones on Amazon. The only way you're going to know how much how much to add. Sometimes you'll add some of this stuff to your painting, but you don't look at it under a black light, you won't know how much it will glow. But it does, as you guys can see, even here under regular light, it really brightens things up. Now that one's creepier because I use darker colors over here. But we can experiment a little bit. I'm going to take some of my neon green. All right. Cool. Again, over here in the windows, I could add another layer of paint to make those really stand out. I think so this is a little bit lighter than this. The darkness in this, there's enough of a difference in this, the two colors, that doesn't stand out as much as it does over there. Even that, though, required a few layers of neon paint. So I would do the same thing over here. I would keep layering that till it gets as bright as I want it to be. Now I'm going to go and turn off some lights in here, and I'm going to shine a black light on my painting. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to shine a black light on both. See what we got. And yeah, let's see how much will come through the video. Bear with me while I turn off some lights. Now I'm not going to make it completely dark, as I've already mentioned. If I can't turn off all my lights in here, or I will lose power to my camera. Give me 1 second. Go across here. Turn off that light. Turn off this light. Got lots of lights in here. I got to turn them all off. Or most of them off. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. How cool is that? I could tighten up the area around the pumpkins over here to make them, glow a lot or more even. Okay, but check it out. Look at all that. Cool. Again, big difference in person. I know it's not all being picked up. Let me see. I'm looking at the video, trying to see how best I can make this so that what's up, Joshua? So it's easier to see on I'm washing it out by being too close. That's what's happening. I'm stepping back. Okay, I'm stepping away from the canvas, and it looks like it's a lot easier to see that way. There we go. Look at the one on the right. Okay, the original. I didn't put any orange neon around the faces, just in the eyes and the mouth on the pumpkins. And I used less in the ground and more regular paint over there. Whereas over here, I used a lot more. Okay, look at, got a little bit of glow in the tree here at the bottom. Glow in that background. But yeah, if I had all the lights off completely in here, this would be really cool. But you guys get the idea, okay? Anyway, let me turn the lights back on. All right. So what do you guys think? The very last thing you guys want to do is sign your piece, sign your painting. Okay. I signed mine at the bottom edge. I'm gonna do the same thing on the new one. Just gonna find a little spot somewhere. Let's see. One of my liner brushes and a little bit of water over here to the side. All right. that is the end of that, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the session. I know I did. I think I turned up my light too brightly. Now I'm losing my vision here. my lamp is too bright. All good. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the session. Again, this is all recorded and will be available through. Originally, I set it as Sunday midnight was the cutoff, but I'm going to extend it out to Wednesday of this coming week. Okay, so if you come onto the Painting with Jesse page, scroll through the live videos, you'll find them there. They'll also be here in the private group that I created for this. So you guys can come back and paint these whenever you want up until Wednesday. Okay, so make sure you guys get those done before then. Also, send me pictures of your masterpieces when you're all done. You can share them with me on Messenger under Painting with Jesse. Just send them over to me, and then what I'll do is I'll group them all together, make a post around them on the Painting with Jesse page where I share all those pieces, and people will get to see what everybody else has created. All right. So anyway, folks, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You got it, Robin. My pleasure. And then again, folks, don't forget, follow the page. If you guys are interested in getting onto that mailing list for the membership, please do so. The information is in the description of this video. All right. Hope you all have an amazing rest of the day. Just looking to see if there's any other questions or comments popping up in the comments section. Okay, you guys got me for about another minute. So if you guys have any questions, please put them down below. You can also send me questions via the same messenger under Painting with Jesse. If you guys have a question about any of this that we did today, please send that over. But all right, very cool. Oh, did I lose something over here? Sorry, just looking at the feed. Looks like looks like there might be an issue here. No, we're still good. Okay, everyone, before I do end up having an actual issue, I'll see you guys all later. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a great day. What happened there? Okay. What is that? All right, Josh, you got it, buddy. I'll see you later. Hi, Tammy. I'm looking over to see who's on YouTube. All right, bye, everybody.